Hey, this is Dan. This is Pilates All Levels here at Studio Blue. If anything doesn't feel good in your body, please don't push through any kind of negative pain, low back, neck, joints. I'll start at something kind of foundational. I'll layer it up quite a bit. So feel free to take the advanced levels, or you can always peel it back down. The biggest point is you always want to feel the target muscle, regardless of what level we're going towards. Props, if you have like a small ball like this, that's great. If you have a towel you could fold up, or a throw pillow, something like that would work. If you don't have a prop, that's a-okay as well. We're gonna get started, hands and knees today. So hands are under the shoulders and knees are underneath the hips. So fingers are spread, tummy's lifted. As you exhale, we're gonna round the spine. Let the head relax, let your shoulder blades widen. And then as you inhale, start to open the chest, let your shoulders glide down. Keep your stomach lifting a little bit so your lower back is supported as you start to arc through your spine. And just keep going like that. Just nice kind of slow, smooth motion, rounding, curling the tail. And then opening the chest and really arcing through the spine. And your lower back has a natural arc to it, which is a good thing, right? But I want you to start to feel for a little bit more extension or arc in your upper back and your middle back. And as you round, start to feel a little bit more roundness in your lower back. Try to let your glutes relax. And just take one more. Make sure you're breathing, right? Any kind of breath you want here. Just make sure you're not holding your breath. Yep. So once you finish that extension or arcing, find the place in the middle of those two extremes. And then look to your left and wag your tail to the left. And then come back through center as you inhale, and then look to the right and wag your tail to the right. So essentially one side of your body is going into a side bend or contracting as the other side is opening. So just take a couple more from side to side, just a really nice way to get the joints moving. Inhaling through center and then exhaling to side bend. And then even let your neck go into a little side bend. So if you kind of look behind you, without straining, just find that full movement. Hello, how are ya? Good. And then find your center, bring your feet together, knees open, press back into child's pose. Just notice how this feels, right? Arms can reach forward, arms can reach behind you. Heather, how's your body feeling today? Good? Okay. And if you set up back, you just have to go, you just have to grab a ball. Actually, here, you can take mine if you want. You got one? Cool. And walk your arms over to the left. Reach out through your right arm. Thank you. And as you reach through the right arm, gently pull back through your right hip and breathe into the right waistline. And then walk your arms over to the other side, stretching through one arm, pulling back through the opposite hip. Just a really nice, easy way to go into a bit of side bending motion. And as you breathe, try to breathe into where you're feeling the stretch. So breathe into that side of your lung and rib cage. And at the very top of your inhale, take just a moment of pause, right? And then come back through center, rise on up, and then make your way onto your back. Knees bent, feet flat. So if you have a ball, you can grab it, place it in between your thighs, or if you have a pillow, right? Or not needed if you don't have anything today. Hands will come together. And if you look at my hands, really clasp the hands fully together, kind of like you're making a basket. Place the hands behind the head, elbows lift up into your peripheral vision. And then nod your chin slightly before you lift your head. Give your ball a squeeze and then curl the head and the chest up, right? Check that your head is still heavy in your hands. And then inhale, lower the head and the chest back down. So again, drop the chin slightly, give that ball a squeeze, exhale, curl up, ribs glide down. And then inhale, lower the chest and the head to the floor. And again, little squeeze, belly draws in, curl up, nice. So keep going with this. All right. So check at the top of your lift, right? Not only is your head trying to pull out of your hands, is your neck doing a lot of work, but are you gripping through your bum? So is your butt trying to tuck under, or are you overusing your glutes? Try to let them relax a bit. And then every time you lift and squeeze your thighs in, feel your lower stomach drawn as well. So pelvic floor, deep low abs, all of it. And that's going to help give your lower back some stability. It's going to help give your pelvis some stability. Nice. So one more like this. We'll curl up and hold. So again, just let your head really rest into your hands. Give your ball a squeeze and exhale, curl your tailbone under slightly. Try to still relax your bum. And then inhale, let your pelvis open to neutral. So it's going to feel like you're sticking out your tail a little. And then as you exhale, scoop your tail under, lengthen your lower back. And then inhale, let the pelvis open to neutral. So keep going like that. And every time the tailbone scoops, right, and you find that length to your lower back, it should feel like your lower abs are meeting your upper abs. Does everyone feel that? Okay. And your chest is still lifted, right? It doesn't matter if you're up off your shoulder blades or not. Just try to keep it up a bit and try to keep your head really heavy. And just notice what it feels like to kind of go into that tucked or lengthened position and what it feels like to come more neutral. So the next time you find neutral, pause. Lower the head and the chest about halfway down to the ground. Take an inhale. Squeeze your thighs. Exhale, curl back up without tucking your tail. And then take your right hand and reach it across and past your left knee. See if you can still keep your left shoulder blade off the ground. And then inhale back to center, chest stays up. Exhale, left arm, stretch it across towards your right knee, just to the outside. Inhale back to center. Big exhale as you curl. Inhale to center. Exhale to twist. Yeah, that's it. Right? And as you're twisting from side to side, yeah, see if you can keep both shoulder blades still off the ground. So there's still quite a bit of a sense of lifting while you rotate. Yeah, let your head come with you so you're not straining your neck. Yep. Good. One more with your left arm crossing towards your right knee. And then come back to center, lower everything down to the ground. Take your ball off to the side if you have it. Hug your knees into the chest. Give your back a little rock from side to side. And then float your legs to tabletop. Pelvis, right, is centered, evenly weighted. Your lower back is a bit imprinted. And your arms will come up to the sky with your palms facing one another. So feel some weight in the back of your shoulders. Right? Feel some weight in your rib cage. The whole rib cage is on the ground. Exhale, reach the arms overhead. Try not to let your ribs lift. So there's really this sense of the ribs drawing down to the top of the hips, and then inhale the arms back to where you started. So again, as you exhale, arms reach overhead. Belly has to work harder as those arms go back. Inhale back to center. So keep going with this. Exhaling to reach. Inhaling back to center. Yeah, good. And then if it feels okay for Nancy, bring the knees just a little forward. Yes, there you go. And see if you feel your lower abs more. Awesome. Yep. So one more like this. So as your arms go back, right, the ribs are drawing down. Your obliques have to work a little harder. The center of your stomach has to work a little harder. Now, if you want to add on, your arms can stay where they're at, reaching to the sky, or arms reach overhead and they stay there, right? So make sure you feel your abs. If your arm's overhead, right heel taps to the ground, the arms stay still, right? Whatever position you chose. Inhale back to center. Set your stomach first, right? Think of scooping the tailbone under a little bit as your opposite heel drops. Inhaling to center, and then exhaling to alternate your taps. Yeah, right? So if your arms are reaching overhead, make sure the hands aren't touching the floor. Yeah, so they can lift just slightly, stomach's in. If you want to advance your heel taps, maybe reach a little further away from you. But just be mindful, if your back starts to arc or you start to feel your back working more than your abs, reel it back in just a little bit so the focus goes back onto your abs. All right, that's the start of the show. Yeah, take a couple more and just check in that you're still really breathing with the movement. Your abs are setting before you move. Last one to your left. And then once you finish your left side, hug your knees into the chest. Give your hips a bit of a rock from side to side. Lovely. And then bring yourself to center. Grab the back of your thighs with your hands. Lift your head and chest. Bring your knees right over your hips, shins parallel to the floor. And then your elbows are going to go pretty wide. Keep your knees where they are. Keep the legs where they are. And just use your arms to pull yourself up off your shoulder blades slightly, right? Take an inhale. Exhale slowly, right? The slower you go, the harder it is. Bring your hands around to the back of your head. Try not to lower. Fully support your head. Take an inhale. Exhale, you can heel tap or right leg reaches forward 45 degrees. So try to keep the feet the same height. Inhale, bend back in. Hold, re-scoop your tail. And then exhale, left leg reaches forward. Bend in. Hold, re-scoop your tail. Right leg reaches forward. Bend in, hold, re-scoop, left leg reaches. Right? So keep going at your own time, but find that pause with your leg far away from you. And then find that pause that when you pull back in, there's that re-scoop and re-engagement of your abs, right? It should be fairly intense. And just keep checking, right? What's your neck doing? Is it tensing in your hands or can it really, really get heavy and relax? Take one more to your left. Yeah, just whenever you get there. No rush. And then hug the knees into the body. Rock your hips from side to side again. And then settle the feet to the floor one at a time. So if you have a ball or a pillow, you can use it. We're gonna lift the hips. We're gonna place the ball underneath our sacrum. So it's in between your tailbone and your lower back. And then your lower back is gonna imprint. So it's flattening a little bit into that ball or pillow. The legs come back up one at a time, tabletop, and then the legs are gonna reach to the sky. So if your hamstrings are typically on the tighter side, having something underneath your hips is really gonna help offload your legs. So now your arms can be by your side. This is gonna be more supportive, right? If you wanna challenge your balance, arms are gonna come up to the sky. Make sure the ribs are heavy, and then as you exhale, the right leg is gonna lengthen and lower. Now it's not gonna touch the floor. You wanna keep the back imprinted. So just see how far down you can go before you feel like you're gonna start to arc your lower spine. And then come back up as you inhale, exhale, left leg starts to lengthen and lower, right? Allow the front of the hip to open, and then use your stomach to pull back up. Good. All right, so there's no one size fits all on this, right? So you're only going so low you can stabilize your pelvis and your back today. Feel the stretch in the front of the hip as you go down. And if you have the mobility to touch the floor, don't. So stop just a little short. So you're learning how to control some of the range within your hips and to still stabilize your core. Yeah. Now, if you want to add on some coordination, if you chose arms to the sky, you can alternate. One arm goes back, other opposite leg goes down, right? Coming back to center. Yeah, and then again, exhaling to alternate. Try not to touch the floor. Back to center. Yep. And then whatever your pace is, see if you can slow it down just a little bit more. Last two. Yeah. And then last one with your left leg moving. Find your center, draw the knees into the body. Let the feet come down one at a time. Lift the hips, take that prop off to the side. And then grab the back of the thighs again. Lift the head and the chest. Last thing we're gonna do here with the legs tabletop, our chest is lifted, elbows are wide. Take a big breath in. Exhale, hands behind the head, right? The slower you go, harder it's gonna be. Stay lifted. Now I want you to look at your right knee, and you're just gonna let your left shoulder blade lift a couple inches, so there's a little bit of twist. And then option, left leg reaches out long. Feet are the same height. Inhale back to center, everything comes back to center. Small twist to your left, right leg reaches. Inhale to center. Small twist to the right, left leg reaches. Inhale to center. Exhale, twist and reach. Yeah, nice. So keep going with this. Now, other options on this, you can go back to a heel tap. You can keep your legs completely still. Your feet could even be on the ground, right? You can totally omit the legs. But if you're adding, right, if you're doing the twisting part as well, right, keep looking at the knee you're twisting towards. Keep a view on it. Try not to look past it, and that's gonna help keep the rotation really in the upper back and not too much into the lower back. Yep. So take one more to your left. Good. And then lower everything down. Nice job. All right, feet can come down. Feet are gonna go about mat distance with a little bit of a turnout. So you have a small turnout, your feet are about mat distance or shoulder distance, arms relaxed by your side. Curl the tailbone. Start to slowly roll up into a bridge. So as the hips lift, feel the glutes start to kick on, especially once you hit your midway. And then feel that the ribs are still fairly heavy. So the glutes are lifting you, the ribs are down, the abs are stabilizing. Inhale at the top, exhale, roll down slowly. So as you go down, use this as a way to really create some space in your spine. Upper, middle, lower. Let the pelvis open to neutral. And then again, scoop the tailbone, roll up slowly. So again, one vertebra at a time. Feel like the knees are stretching over the centers of your feet. The back of the glutes are on, front of the ribs are heavy. And then again, roll it down slowly. All right, so first option, stay with this. Second option, if you have a pillow or a ball, you can place the ball or pillow under your feet. Your feet and thighs will come together. Now you want to make sure that if you have this prop, you're not pushing your feet away from you, but there's this sense of pulling it towards you. Right? If your hamstrings start to completely freak out, right, just get rid of the ball and we can do it without. But as you exhale, again, we're going to scoop the tail. You're going to slowly roll up, right? You might not get quite as high, and that's fine. Inhale at the top, and then exhale, slowly start to roll down, upper, middle, lower back. And again, inhaling, exhale, you can press straight into your ball, scoop the tailbone. You'll feel a lot more hamstring on this one. Rolling up, and then rolling back down. Now, if you don't have a prop at home, you could also just do this with your feet on the ground, feet about hip distance or even together if you want to intensify the hamstring work, right? Make sure if you're using a prop, and if you're not shearing through your lower back to lift, but you're really using the back of your thighs and the back of your glutes. Everybody feeling this one? Oh yeah, okay, good. So check in with your shoulders, your jaw, your face, right? Take one more lift. Now the next time you lift, just wherever you go, hold that lift, right? It doesn't have to be the same height as the first one we started with. Again, have that sense of pulling your heels towards you rather than pushing them away. Yes, that's going to intensify the hamstring work. Take one more breath and then slowly start to make your way down, right? Whole spine. And then hug the knees into the body. Good. Send the legs to the sky. Give the back of the legs a bit of a stretch, right? Lift the head and the chest. And then you're going to grab just below your right knee. Send your left heel to the ground. And this is where you can touch that heel right onto the floor. Yep, the right leg, you're getting a hamstring stretch. Lower back's imprinted. Exhale, switch legs. Yeah, you might have to just kick your prop off to the side a little bit. That's fine. Yeah. There we go. And then again, exhale, switch. So make sure your abs are in before you start to switch legs. Again, exhale, switch. Now this can be done with a pillow or prop behind your head if your neck generally gets a little bit tense on this stuff. All right, it feels kind of nice and you'll still get a little bit of the chest lift. You can also do this with your hands behind the head. It's a little bit less hamstring stretch, definitely more abs. Or you can do this with your head on the ground. All right, so lots of different options. Yep. Yeah, just make sure it's all coming from your center line. One more, holding onto your left leg. So end with your left leg up, right leg down. Yep. And then lower the head and the chest, hug your left leg into your body. Yeah, and if you have a pillow or a ball behind your head, you can take it away. And you're gonna pull that left leg over the body. Open the left arm, turn the palm to face up. Feel some weight in the back side of your shoulder and shoulder blade. And just take a couple of breaths here. So it's a really nice mild twist. And the way to intensify this or to create more mobility, use your breath. So really big inhale. And then as you exhale, maybe your breath will guide you into just a little bit more of a twist. And it's nothing you're forcing, it's just something you're kind of surrendering into. And then on your next breath out, use your stomach to bring you back through center. And then we'll switch left leg to the ground, right leg into your chest. Yeah, shoulders are relaxed. Yeah, and then when you're ready, just pull that right leg over, open the right arm. Feel some weight not only in the back of your right shoulder, but the right shoulder blade as well. Yeah, so there's this sense of opening through the front of the chest and the heart, through the outer hip, the lower back. And then use your stomach, bring yourself back through center. Hug both legs into your body. Grab the back of your thighs with your hands, and then press the thighs into the hands, nod your chin, roll up, and just scoot yourself a little bit forward, all right? Have your prop close by if you want it. It's just close to us. Grab the back of your thighs, flex your feet, all right? And then sit up a little bit taller, and then curl your tailbone, and let your pelvis roll back slightly. So your lower back is essentially going into an imprint, and then just kind of relax the shoulders, maybe relax your head a little. And as you exhale, can you float one heel a little bit off the ground? Yeah, and then maybe the other heel lifts. So you're kind of balancing on the back of your sit bones, right? Yeah. So hold there, push your thighs a little bit into your hands, so you feel the back of your hamstrings turn on, right? Keep your stomach drawing in. Now, if you're on a tile floor and you have no mat, don't do this next exercise, right? If you're here or you have like a squishy mat, it'll feel a lot better. So as you inhale, we'll take a roll back to the tips of the shoulder blades. Exhale, try to come up, balance, right? Same goes with like yoga mats on a wooden floor. It might feel good, might not. So rolling back, rolling up. This should feel like a massage, not like, torture. Yeah, and then maybe the feet relax now, maybe they come together, rolling back, rolling up. Maybe the knees come together, right? So intensifying, kind of tightening up your ball will make the exercise harder. Maybe you grab the front of your shins. So the closer you go to your feet, towards your ankles, the harder it is to roll, and the more you're going to need your breath, right? So inhaling back, exhaling up. Now, if you want to play with it around with advancing it a little bit more, your legs can straighten, right? You want to grab up towards your ankles, just as close as you can get. On this one, your chest will lift, shoulders are back, your back is pretty straight, and then you round through your lower back, arms and legs stay straight, exhale, bring it back up. Yeah, you might not make it the first time, that's cool. And then again, inhale back, should make you smile. Exhale, roll up. So this is called open leg rocker. So really classic Joseph Pilates move, rolling up, good. One more time. So it's a lot of control. Now the next time you're up, hold, bring your thighs together, grab behind the legs, lift your chest. Now your legs might still be bent, right? Same thing applies. Chest is a little lifted, tummy's in, maybe the legs are still straight, right? Wherever you're at, take a breath. And as you exhale, try to keep the legs where they are as you reach your arms forward. Ease into your shoulders, right? Deep hip work, deep core work, deep spinal work. And your thighs might be on a little bit here as well. Just make sure they're not the star of the show. And then cross your legs, let your feet come forward and come onto the hands and knees. Nicely done. Teasers. We love the good teaser. So if you have a squishy mat under your hands, this is where a firmer surface, like forward of your mat, might feel better on your wrist if you generally have some wrist tension. So you're going to press down into the ground, grip into your hands a little bit, right? Almost like you were like a gecko or like on a wall. And then let your shoulder blades widen, lift your stomach, and then one leg at a time reaches back into plank. So this is a nice way to reopen the hips after teasers. Push your feet down, lift up through your stomach, turn on the front of your thighs, your glutes, your arms. Now, knees can always be down in low plank. You can always be on your forearms in low plank or forearms in full plank. All right, so wherever you're at, take a couple more breaths. Yep. Good, and then lift the hips up just a little bit for me. Good, perfect. And then scoop the tailbone under a little bit. Yes. Take 2 more breaths, and then let the knees come down. Push back child's pose. Nice job. So if you're here in Portland, it's a cold, rainy day. So hopefully you're warming up. If you're here with us at home, Rise back up. So hands and knees. Set your shoulders. So make sure, right, they're not up in your ears like this. They're wide and they're out of your ears. And there's a sense of pushing your rib cage to the sky. Lift through the stomach. Reach back into your plank. Inner elbows, they're facing slightly forward and they're unlocked. So your biceps and triceps are on. Yep. Now you can be on your knees. You can be on your forearms. Yep. Have a sense of, right, not arcing the lower back, but scooping the tail down slightly. Keep your shoulder blades wide. Yep. Couple more breaths. 5, 4, 3, 2, rest. Knees down, child's pose. Nice job. And just take a big full breath. And then come forward, hands and knees. And we're gonna come down onto the forearms. So your elbows are right underneath your shoulders. Hands can be together. This is gonna be a little bit more neck stability, or your hands can be apart. And then bring the knees about a hand's distance apart and underneath your hips. So your legs might have to go forward or back. Now root down through your forearms, hug the inner elbows in, look down at your back knee, and then lift your left leg up. All right, and just hold here for a second. So really root down through the right leg. Keep your tummy in. Keep your left leg reaching up. Yep, so those back glutes are on. As you inhale, bend that back leg down and in. And then as you exhale, reach back and up. You're just gonna keep doing that on this side. So down and in and back and up. Oh yeah, same side. You got it. And tell me, is it Jarina?
Yeah, Gina.
Gina, okay. I just want to make sure I'm saying your name right. Okay, cool. And then for Tana, feel your ribs lift in just a little bit. Yeah, keep that as your leg goes up. Nice. Yeah, and then for Gina, feel your hips shift to the left just slightly. Yeah, there you go. Nice. Yeah, so you should definitely feel the leg that's lifting, right? Those glutes are working, but also the leg that's on the ground, right? Those outer hip muscles are working to keep you from kind of sliding over to the side. And then your stomach muscles are working to keep your ribs in a good place and your back in a good place. And then Eva, feel your hips shift to your left just slightly up. Good. So the next time that you lift your leg up, pause at the top. Let your head be heavy, shoulders are relaxed. And then if you want to add on, flex your back foot. So flex your left foot, turn the leg out a little, and then start to bring that leg out to the side. Now, as it comes out to the side, make sure your hips aren't shifting to the right. And then I want you to lift up first and then start to rotate your leg back into parallel. Right? So then you turn out, start to reach your leg out to the side, hover off the ground, try not to touch it, lift first, and then rotate back. So if you're new at this one, it's going to get a lot of weird little muscles in your hip to turn on. It's also creating active range of motion, right? Keep the head relaxed, keep the neck relaxed, shoulders out of ears. Yep, couple more. A lot of glutes on this one. Yep. Yeah, last one. And back to center, push back child's pose, feet together, knees open, arms stretch forward. And just a couple of breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. And then rise back up, hands and knees, elbows under shoulders. Right, forearms are pressing down, inner elbows hugging in. Set up the knees so they're under the hips. Stomach's lifted, and then right leg reach back and up. And then lower down and gently draw back in. And then exhale, reach back, up, down and in. Yeah, and just let the neck relax a bit. So you're looking down slightly. So your head's following kind of this downward angle of your upper back. All right, ribs are in, tummy's in. Yep, jaws relaxed. Definitely some upper back here, some shoulders, glutes. Yep. Now keep the front of your ribs drawing in, good. Good. Couple more. And then if you want to add on, the next time that you reach back and up, hold. Flex your foot, turn your leg out first, start to bring that leg out to the side. You're going to pause right about when you're in line with your hip. You're hovering off the ground, then lift up first, and then start to rotate back to parallel. Again, turn out, reach out, and then lift first. Keep the shoulders dropping down and out of your ears, back through center. And again, turn out, reach out, lift, back through center. And again, turn out, reach out, lift, back through center. Check that your hips aren't swaying to the left as your leg reaches to the right. Relax the jaw, last one. Back through center, and then lower down. Good. So stay here for a moment with your knees under your hips, your elbows under your shoulders. Right, really drop the shoulders out of the ears, press down into your palms, so your hands will be about shoulder distance. And I want you to think of reaching through your fingertips to start to extend the arms. Your chest will lift, your shoulders are down. So I want you to think of that lift coming from the back side of your triceps and the underside of your armpit. And then you're gonna drop your elbows back down to the ground. Your chest comes with you, right? Head comes with you. And then think of reaching through your fingertips to extend your arms. Nice. Yep, ribs stay in. Inhale to bend. Yep, so it's kind of like a tricep push-up of sorts. Exhale to extend. But feel like the movement starts from underneath your shoulder blades. Last one, exhale to extend. Good. Inhale, lower down. Nice, and then push back, child's pose. Maybe this time knees are together. Arms are forward, hips are back. Heavy head. And then take a full breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Good. And then rise up, and we're gonna come onto one side facing me, doesn't matter which one, and you're gonna prop yourself up onto a forearm. So your knees are bent, knees are forward, heels are in line with the back of your sit bones, and your elbows underneath your shoulder. So you wanna just kind of slunch down for a moment, right? Just notice what that feels like, and then lift up through your ribs and press down into your forearm. Make sure the shoulders are dropping out of the ears. The rib line is still in. And then as you exhale, if you want to add on, lift your hips a couple inches off the ground. And your knees will stay on the ground, they'll stay together, but you should feel some work in the bottom of your bum, the side of your waist, and the underside of your armpit. And maybe the top arm goes to the sky. Yep, nice. And then lower the hips down to the ground. And again, set your shoulder first, hips lift second. Yeah, so shoulder work, back of the shoulder, underside of the armpit, inhale, lower down, nice. Exhale, lift. So holding here, if you want to add on, right, and this can be done with your hips on the ground or lifted, right? Hips up is going to be a little more intense. Your top leg reaches out and then lifts up. Hold there. So you should not only feel your top glutes working, but your bottom glutes should be on as well. And again, do you have to be on your forearm? No, definitely not. You can be down on your whole side. You can be laying on your shoulder. You do not have to have your hips lifted. Yeah, just take one more breath here. And then bend in, lower the hips. You can lower the top arm, reset your shoulder if you need to, right? Find your armpit muscles first, lift the hips second. Again, maybe the top leg lengthens out and lifts. Hold. If you want to add on, let your top leg go a little bit forward in space. It doesn't have to be very far. And then let it go a little bit back in space. And what we're doing is you're creating motion in your top leg, so everything else in your body has to react to stay still. So as this top leg moves, nothing else in your body gets to. Right, now again, can it be done with the hips on the ground like this? Yep. Can you be on the ground like this? Yeah, definitely. And if your top arm is reaching up the whole time, it's going to be a little less stable. So you're still working all the small little muscles to help with your stability. One more time. End to the back. Find your center, lower everything down. So everything gets to come down to the ground. Both hands will come behind your head. And your knees will still be slightly bent forward, feet in line with the back of your sit bones, top elbow to the sky. And then start to rotate the head and the rib cage backwards in space. So we're trying to find some mobility in the upper spine. The hips are going to stay fairly still. And we're going to breathe into this movement. Keep the tailbone scooping down. And then exhale back through center. Press yourself up to seated and switch sides. So onto your opposite forearm or wherever you were to start on the last one. Knees bent forward, right? If you touch underneath your bottom kind of armpit rib area, make sure you're not sinking down, but there's a sense of lifting up. So you should feel some muscles jump into your hands. Top arm can lift, hips can lift. All right, and you're pushing into your bottom arm, you're pushing into your bottom legs. So not only your arm is working, but your hips are working as well. And we can lower down, set the shoulder, exhale, lift. Pause at the top. Inhale down. Set the shoulder. Again, exhale, lift. Inhale down. Yeah, stay with this, or next time that you lift up, lift, hold. Top leg reaches long, it can lift off the ground. Just pause on this first one. So feel the muscles around bottom outer hip, waistline, shoulder line stabilizing. Keep breathing. Bend everything in and down. Yeah, if you want to add on, right, if you want to make this a little less stable, we lift up. Top leg lengthens and lifts. Now, the body is going to stay still, except the top leg is going to go a little forward, and it's going to go a little back. So it doesn't have to be very big, but just notice what has to react in your body as this top leg is moving. So the shoulder, the lower waistline, the glute line. Now again, you can be down on your side, your hips can still be on the ground. Keep the shoulders dropping down and out of the ears, keep the neck long. Last 3, 2, nice. Last one, end to the back. Bend the legs in, lower all the way down to your side. Both hands behind the head. The hips are going to stay pretty stacked. The top arm is going to lift. We're going to rotate the head and the ribs open. And just breathe into this. Tailbone is scooping down slightly. Neck is long. Keep breathing into your upper spine. And then as you exhale, use your stomach to bring you back to center. And then make your way into your stomach. So to start, your feet can be hip distance apart. They can be wider if you want more space for your lower back. And your arms are going to be at a goalpost. So elbows in line with the shoulders, about 90 degrees. Your nose can be about 1 inch off the ground. And then try to let your knees relax to the floor, anchor your pubic bone, and lift up through your stomach. And as you exhale, slide your shoulder blades a little down and in, and then hover the chest up just to about the base of your rib line. So we're really extending through the upper spine, and then take it down. And again, set your shoulders. Inhale, peel the head and the chest up to about the bottom line of your ribs. And then exhale, slowly take it down. And again, set the shoulders. Peel the chest up as you inhale. Upper spine, middle spine, lower back stays completely still. Yep. Exhale down. So you can stay here or take your hands back towards your feet. Your palms will face in. Set your shoulders first, set your stomach, and then start to lengthen out through your head. Still knees and feet pretty relaxed to the ground. So we're extending and lifting through the upper spine. Exactly. Holding, maybe the arms lift, shoulders wrap downwards, neck stays long. Take everything down, let the shoulders relax. Again, set your stomach, knees and feet heavy to the ground. Start to roll the shoulders down, peel the chest up. Arms can lift as well. Once you get to the top, hold and breathe. And every inhale that you take, let that breath in extend your upper spine. And every exhale you take, connect deeper to your core. One more deep inhale. As you exhale, everything comes down. So add on to this one, set your shoulders, set your stomach. Inhale, start to peel up, and then as the arms lift, maybe the legs start to float up as well. So only so high that the lower back, again, doesn't really change shape. The front of the hips are opening, front of the shoulders and chest are opening. Keep lengthening back through the arms, so triceps are on here as well. One more full breath, and then take everything down. And again, set your stomach, set your shoulders, peel up. Maybe the legs lift with the arms. Now, if you want to add on, stay lifted. Take your arms to either a T or forward to a high Y. This is where you need a lot of stomach and a lot of upper back. As you exhale, the right arm and the left leg might lift a little higher. Inhale back to hover, right? You're just hovering a little bit off the ground, and then exhale, right leg, left arm lift just a little higher, back to hover, and then alternate. So again, right, if your arms are at a T, it's still opposite limbs. Your arms are just out to the side. Or maybe your limbs are all on the ground and you're lifting opposite limbs, always having two limbs on the ground for more support. Right? So a lot of different places to go. Ending with the left arm and right leg. And then let everything come down. Hands under the shoulders, push back child's pose. Knees can be open or closed on this one. Use your hands to press the hips back. Let the head feel heavy. Shoulders are relaxed. And then walk the hands towards your body, roll yourself up. Nice, so we're gonna come all the way up onto our knees. So if you have a yoga mat, you might wanna roll it in half or just have something under your knees for a little bit of support. So make sure you have some room from side to side with your arms, right? You're not gonna hit anything or anyone. And then your left leg is gonna come out long to your side. Yep. So make sure that your right hip is stacked right over your knee, right? You're not kind of falling backwards. The back of the glutes are on, the front of the hips are open, front of the ribs are in. And then we're gonna lengthen out a bit, right? Your bottom hand is gonna grab onto the top of your ribs. Your top arm is long by your side, right? The ribs are drawing in. And then as you exhale, take your top arm to the sky, maybe towards your head. Yep, and then inhale, lower it down. Yeah, keep rooting into your bottom leg. Keep your stomach in, and then exhale, top arm to the sky or overhead. Yep. And as your arm goes up, right, the hand on your ribs, you should feel some muscles under there, right? So your obliques kicking on to stabilize you, right? Keep the stomach lifting, right? Bias towards your tailbone dropping down. So find a little bit of length. And then if you want to advance, both arms are by your side. Both arms can lift and both arms can lower, right? So you're essentially adding more weight that's reaching away from your midline, so your midline has to work harder. Last two. Nice. Last one. And then the arms lower. Your bottom arm is going to lower to the ground. Walk it a little bit away from you to the point where if this arm gets further enough away from you, this top leg is really going to lighten to the point where it should be able to lift fairly easily, right? It's not going to be super effortless, but fairly easy. The shoulders dropped out of the ears. The rib line is still in. Softly pointing through the top foot, top arm, anywhere you want it, to the sky, to your ribs as a reminder to keep them in, right? But imagine your leg getting a little lighter. Your stomach's still in. Imagine using your top butt, your top glutes a little less. And picture where your thigh meets your hip. That's where the movement's going to come from. Can you lift your leg a little higher? Keep rooting into your bottom limbs. Keep lifting through your bottom waistline. And then take that leg down. Take your top arm overhead. Take a big side stretch. And then as you exhale, press into the bottom limbs. Lift your top leg and your top arm. Inhale, lower. Find your side stretch. Exhale, lift. So it's not only your glutes, but also the side of your waist, right? Inhale, down. Exhale, lift. Good. Last two. Inhale, down. Exhale, lift. Last one. Lift, hold. Take one more extra breath. And then end in your side stretch. And then you can bring your hands down to the ground, knees together, press back child's pose. And just breathe into this for a moment. Nice. And roll yourself back up onto your knees. Your right leg is going to go out long, or just make sure it's your opposite leg. And you're going to lean away from that leg. Bottom leg is rooting down, hip stacked right over the knee, bottom hand to the top of the ribs. Take a big breath. As you exhale, top arm to the sky or up towards your head. And then inhale, lower it down. And then exhale to lift up. Inhale to lower. So every time that the arm goes up, feel your obliques and your abdominals have to react. Yeah. So ribs drawing in, tummy drawing in. Inhale down. Exhale, lift. Keep the lower back long. The lower waistline in. Maybe both arms, right? If you want to add a little bit more challenge or weight. But make sure this doesn't feel like it's just in the side of your lower back, but it's in the side of your rib line and obliques. Right. A couple more like this, still rooting into the bottom leg. Last one. And then arms come long by your side. The bottom arm is going to walk out, and it can walk out a good amount. So bring it out to a point to where your top leg just starts to kind of naturally lift. Shoulder definitely out of ear, ribs are in, tummy's in. Top arm anywhere you want it, and just hold this leg up. So for me, for my top leg here, this is my left side, but these glutes on me are really tight. They always want to work really hard. So for me to get my leg higher, I actually have to think of relaxing a bit. So I'm relaxing the weight of my leg. I'm picturing where my thigh bone meets my hip, and then I'm trying to lift that leg a little higher, not from gripping, but finding a deeper sense of strength. Take one more breath. That leg is going to lower, top arm overhead. So find your side stretch. And then as you exhale, root down into the bottom limbs, top leg, top arm lift. Yep. Inhale to lower, find your side stretch. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Last two. Nice, good, last one. Lift, hold. Take an extra breath once you get here. And then let that leg come down. Top arm overhead one last time. And then stretch down into child's pose. Maybe knees together on this one. It'll give you a bit more stretch in the back of your spine. Let your head be heavy. Let your shoulders relax. And then rise up to hands and knees. So hands are under the shoulders, knees are under the hips. Again, round your spine like a cat. So where we started today. And then let your chest open to neutral. So this version, try not to extend your back. And again, exhale, round like a scared cat. And then inhale back to neutral. So first option, stay here. This feels kind of nice, right? Second option, tuck your toes. Your knees are going to hover a couple inches off the ground. So not very far. Now maintain that. So if I look down at my knees, that space from knee to floor isn't going to change. My shoulders are down. I'm going to round my spine, drop the chin, lift up through the waistline. Really think of pushing the ground away through your feet and your hands, and then open the chest to neutral. Hold. All right, so it's still cat stretch. Exhale, round. Drop the chin, shoulders out of ears. You should feel a whole lot of armpit, core. Inhale, center. Last one like this. If you've chosen the knees lifted, back to center, knees come down. And again, last child's pose, push on back. Take a breath. Big exhale. Rise up through hands and knees, through down dog. Coming into forward fold, roll yourself up to standing. And then if you want more challenge for balance work today, you can be on like a squishy mat. Less challenge, so if you want more stability, just walk off your mat a bit. So I'm on the wooden floor, and we're gonna start fairly simple. I'm just gonna take one leg in front of the other. Doesn't matter which one, just one foot in the front of the other, kind of like you're on a tightrope. And just notice what this feels like, and then when they get into the Olympics this summer, you know, just check out the balance beam stuff relative to what we're doing right here. Right? And this feels fairly intense to me. So make sure the legs haven't locked out. If you shift forward and back, find the centers of your feet, right? And maybe the arms open a bit so you feel like you have some more stability. You're taking up a little bit more space in the room. And then if you want to add on, close your eyes. So all of a sudden things will probably get a little shaky, right? So this is a super simple way you can work on balance. And allow your feet to move, right? Your lower legs should be moving a little bit. Your feet have to adjust, and you want that. You want that pliability and movement as you walk and hike and run, whatever it may be. And then open your eyes, step your back leg forward. Yeah, and if you need more stability, your feet can always open a little wider, right? They don't have to be like like they're on a true balance beam. Shift slightly forward and back. Find the centers of your feet. Yeah, relax the shoulders, relax the knees a little bit, and then maybe close your eyes and just notice what this side feels like. And even if your eyes are closed, imagine that you're kind of looking out into the distance, something kind of far away. Shoulders are still easy and relaxed. And then open your eyes, right? Steps of the feet are touching in parallel. Legs are straight but not locked. And then bend your right leg. And as your leg bends, and I'll demo this from the front view as well, make sure that the hip didn't kind of drop down and push over. So this is your side series. So as one leg lifts, if you touch your standing leg, that outer butt, and the center of your butt too, you should feel some tone there. So all of that side leg lift stuff we were doing, that's working right now to keep your hips balanced. So you can hold on to something if you want, a chair, a wall, or make sure your standing leg isn't locked. Start to fold forward into your hip. So your body's leaning forward, your back leg is lifting up slightly. So your core muscles are on, the front, the back, the side, your back glutes are on. Can't balance today. And then as you exhale, root through your standing leg to bring you up. Yeah, so this is your hip extension. So inhale, lean forward. Yeah, make sure your back doesn't round as you lean. Yeah, hold there, back leg is lifting slightly. And then root through your standing legs so your glutes and hamstrings are bringing you back up. One more like this. Inhale, hinge. Right, everybody here feeling it? Oh yeah. So this is hip extension that we do lying on our stomach or hands and knees. We've just brought it upright. And then bring both legs to the ground, shake them out a bit. Right, and then to your opposite leg, whatever that may be. So for us here, I'm rooting down, little bit of a bend into the legs. The left leg bends. Yeah, make sure there isn't too much movement, right? There might be a little bit of movement, but nothing too great. If you feel into those outer hip muscles, they should be on. We're gonna hinge forward. The back leg will lift a bit. And then root into the standing leg to bring you back up. Yep. And again, hinging forward. Ribs are in, tummy's in. Root into the standing leg to bring you up. Yeah. And again, hinging. And then Gina, I'm gonna stop you right there and then reach your left leg back just slightly, a little bit higher. Yeah, there you go. Nice, and then root into the standing leg, bring it back up. Good, one more time. So it's almost like your torso's in a plank. Inhale, hinge. Exhale, back up. And then both feet to the floor and shake out the legs. Nice job. So feet can be about hip distance. Shake out the arms a bit. Get the wiggles out. Take an inhale, standing tall. And then nod your chin and start to roll down. And as you roll down, keep the knees just a little bit bent. Heavy head. And hang out here in your forward fold. Let your head get real heavy. So if you feel like you're trying to keep your head up at all, just kind of let those neck muscles relax, let your jaw relax. And then keeping your arms and head heavy, slowly start to roll up as you exhale. And allow your head to come up. Last one, you there today. Nicely done. If you have any questions, let me know. And as always, feedback's appreciated. And that's it. We can square everything off. Nice job.